Hello, and welcome to the Writing Gals Talking Tropes. This is Trope Talk, Fake Relationship. I'm Victorine,
I'm Michelle.
and we are going to talk about fake relationships, which I think it's both our personal favorites.
I love it so much. And I don't care if you mix it up with some enemies to lovers or best friends to lovers or like any other trope.
Hmm.
This one makes them all better,
Oh,
just
yes.
inherently better. And the first question I think is like, why are they faking this relationship and for who? Who are they trying to scam?
Yes,
And if you can come up with a really compelling answer to those 2 points, then you're just going to have fun from then on out.
absolutely. It is one that lends itself really well to romantic comedy because you could
Yes.
put tons of humor into this one.
Yes, the last book that I published was a rom-com called Be My Ex,
Mm.
which I don't have a copy of at the moment.
Aw.
My daughter and her friends keep passing them around as I get them. But
Well, that's a good one. That's a good thing that your daughter loves it.
And the whole fun point of it for me, the best part of a fake relationship is the PDA.
Yes. Yes,
Because
absolutely.
you have to prove that they really like each other. So they have to be showing the world. And so they have to be holding hands and they have to be kissing and
Yes.
doing all of these things that they're not emotionally prepared to do. And so it's just such a fun juxtaposition between what they are showing and then what they pretend to feel. And then there's that gap in between. So they might pretend like, oh, that was gross, or I can't
Yeah.
believe it. Or they act all kind of freaked out after the scene. I love that. And then, but really they were like, oh, I felt that. Like I'm catching feelings from this person. If I have to kiss
Mhm.
them one more time, I might not be able to hold myself back anymore.
Yes.
Or like my personal favorite is like they couldn't tell that I was actually into that kiss because I
Yeah, yeah.
have to pretend like I'm just a really good actor.
That's right.
How
So
many
I wrote one called Accidentally Married,
Mm.
and I loved it so much, I wrote a whole series of fake relationship ones, so it's my married series.
Yeah, I was gonna say how many have you written? Because I don't think I've written as many as you have, but I've written several.
Yeah, I have all in the series there are 5. One of them is kind of not a fake relationship. She's in a fake relationship, but the main male character is not who she's in a fake relationship with.
Uh-huh.
So, he is wanting to date her, but she's, fake engaged to somebody else. So
Yes.
that's what's repelling them. But I've written, oh gosh, probably even more than those 5
So
'cause
it's
I
a
love it
fun
so much.
twist you can do on it, that the fake relationship doesn't have to be the protagonist, and the benefits of that is just the big word jealousy, right?
Yes, absolutely.
In fact, I wrote kind of a list of the reasons why you might like why your characters might get into a fake relationship, and making someone jealous is definitely one of them.
Yes.
And I also really think that it's usually about even getting somebody that they can't have because of making someone jealous. But sometimes it's just about revenge too. Like you can
Mhm.
play the jealousy either way. I really like the book To All the Boys I Loved Before
Mhm.
and the movie adaptation. It's a great fake relationship,
That is.
and it's definitely a case where the characters have a lot of contrast between each other, and I think that works really well in fake relationship is to make sure that your characters, are completely different from each other, and even where people would be like, "Why are they together?" Why like, people just would not believe that those 2 people would voluntarily, fall for each other, and that makes it so much more fun when they are proving to everybody that they are, and I think, To All the Boys I Loved Before does a really good job of that one.
Yes, I agree. And one of my favorite movies is Fake Relationship, but not with the protagonist, it's While You Were Sleeping, 'cause she's
Mhm.
a fake relationship with the brother that's in the coma.
Yep.
So, that's a really good one.
Yeah. There's always some sort of benefit to the relationship, whether it's with the love interest or whether it's not. And so again, I'm going to talk like we talked about last week. I'm going to talk about contracts
Yes.
or some sort of understanding. So in the case of while you were sleeping, it's just a scam that she's pulling on his family.
Yep, yeah.
That's just pure scam, but and the benefit for her is what? Like, that she just gets to be part of this amazing family for a little
Yeah,
while,
because
basically.
she has always wanted to belong, and she doesn't have family, and so that sense of belonging and that sense of family togetherness is what sh is why she can't tell the truth.
Yeah, but I think if you have the protagonists who are, like, entering into a relationship for the purpose of scamming people together, there's usually some sort of agreement or contract between them too.
Mhm.
Like, I talked about with marriage of convenience, and, so, like, "You will kiss me in front of people. When we are around my family, you will do this," or, "Anytime we're out in public, then we have to, like, hold hands, or you have to use this nickname so people believe it," like, set out all these kinds of terms. Um, and it's one thing I wanna mention about a contract is that it's great if it's written down because then it can be discovered.
Yes.
Then somebody else can discover the contract, and that can be the moment when their, sham or deception completely gets torn apart, and that's an important, beat in this trope, so we can talk about that more later. So don't ever have them write down a contract, and then do nothing with it from that point on.
Right.
Like, it's kind of like Chekhov's gun. If you have them make a contract, then make sure that it gets found, that it gets discovered. It's always stupid. I'm always like, "Why did you leave that laying around? Why did you have that in your briefcase? Or why was that on your nightstand? Or, like, why didn't you put this in a locked safe somewhere or shred it or something?" But, of course, it has to be discovered. And, that point of the story is usually what ends or ends the, like, growing together stage and launches you into the dark moment, because if you're in a fake relationship, once the secret's out, the adhesion is gone.
Mhm.
So you separate, and all that connection that you had built gets cut off all of a sudden. Um, but I will talk about one, um, s exclusion to that. What's the word I'm looking for?
Oh, caveat?
Yeah. There you can have, like, a best friend character who's in on the secret.
Mm.
In fact, it is very common for there to be, like, the best friend character, or in the case of, like, a CEO, the assistant, there can be somebody in the know of their secret who is helping them, who is advising them, who is listening to them vent, or who maybe they didn't know from the beginning, but they were, like, so close to the protagonist that they picked up on it really fast, and they're like, "Yeah, I was suspicious all along, and then this happened, and I knew you guys were faking it." But then that person is also like, "But I think that you really like them. I think that they really like you. Have you noticed that they're always watching you? Have you noticed that they're always taking care of you? That they remember what you like to eat?" Like, that person is the one pointing out, "Hey, I think that this could be real."
Mhm.
Because in a fake relationship, again, you've got the characters like, "No, no, no, I'm not going to really have feelings for this person."
Yes.
And that is fun. Keep it business,
That's
even when
right.
you have feelings. Um, and then can we talk about the 12 stages of intimacy as how it relates to the fake relationship?
Sure.
So, if you think about a lot of other romance tropes, you sort of slowly progress through the stages of intimacy, right? And that allows for you to it's almost like slow burn, but not really. You just have time to adapt to this stage and experience the feelings and have all the thoughts and then move on to the next one. But in fake relationship, they're just slammed really
Yes.
quickly through, like they just boom, 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 go through them really, really fast before they're emotionally ready for it. And that causes such a huge sort of eruption or fireworks in them that, causes them to have to face attraction and chemistry. I think that the possibilities for chemistry in a fake relationship are just out of this world. And that's probably why I like it so much.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible when there's that forbidden element to it, which
Yes.
I think you have in fake relationship.
Yes. Yeah, you can't have any feelings, but you have to kiss them, you have to hold their hand, you have to be really close with them, yeah, out in public, and so, yeah.
And not betray your feelings while your tongues are tangling. Sorry.
Mhm.
So, um, it's this trope is very common in workplace romances, even
Mhm.
though workplace romances are kind of taboo. Um, I also do see that a lot where, it's common with boss employee romances. It's common in celebrity romances or
Mhm.
anything that has public relations involved to it. So it might be
Yeah.
political, it might be royal. So if there's some political or social gain, public relations gain for them to be in this relationship with somebody, then that trope works really well with it. Um, and like we said, it can be best friends or it can be fake or enemies to lovers. um, I think it would be kinda hard to have a second chance romance also be a fake relationship, but you can do it, like, definitely,
Yeah, you could. You could
and
do it.
I just but maybe that'd be a fun twist. Um, as far as scene tropes, again, the only one bed scene, if you're writing at least adult romance, it might be trickier in, like, young adult romance, um, but to have the only one bed, the meet the family, the same kinds of things as marriage of convenience.
Mhm.
And then there's a lot of makeover scenes, I think, in fake relationship. And there's usually like this sort of moment that's like the prom moment, the red carpet moment, the gala moment where this person is going to be their date and they're going to arrive together. And so a lot of times you get what I call the Cinderella moment or the Cinderella on the staircase, princess on the staircase moment where I love that scene where the, person shows up all fancy. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, I now realize I cannot deny my feelings for them because they're so beautiful. They're so handsome in a tuxedo. Oh my gosh. And then so like 10 things I hate about you wasn't was that a fake relationship?
Gosh, I haven't seen that in forever. I
I
don't
can't
think
I don't
so.
think it was. I'm trying to think of
So, Pretty Woman,
oh, okay.
that was, The Decoy Bride was. There's one called Holiday in Handcuffs, which is
I haven't
hysterical
seen
if you
that
haven't seen that. Just Go With It is another really good one, and My Fake Fiancé. So
one.
those are the ones I wrote down that are fake relationship movies.
Yep. Um, I should have written some down too, but do you remember that K-drama that has, the same girl in oh my gosh, I'm just making a fool of myself.
Oh,
Park
no,
Park Shin-hye, whatever her name is.
I'm
The
trying.
one who's, like, in all the old dramas. The one that was in Healer,
Park Min-young.
Park Min-young.
Yes.
She's in another one where she's, like, an art, um
Yes, that's My Private Life.
yes, My
That's
Private Life.
a great fake relationship one.
Okay. And it was important enough that I had to help you had to help me figure out the title of it, and
Right, she's in another one with a contract marriage fake relationship one too.
yeah, she's
Uh,
in a lot of this kinda trope.
alright,
In My Private Life, it has one of my absolute favorite kissing scenes, and it's preceded by like, they have to like acknowledge the relationship, the make it real moment. Like they've kind of had a dark moment and he wants to know why she keeps pushing away from him, or is it the other way around? And then they're like, because I want it to be real. I think it's him. I
Mm.
think he's the one, like, I can't kiss you anymore because I want it to be real.
Yes.
And then they go full at it and get interrupted and then sneak around a corner and go at it again. And it's like my favorite kissing scene ever, 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 ever. And what made it so great was that it came after the I want it to be real.
Right.
So
Yes.
you need to have that moment in a fake relationship too.
Yes.
And just like make that moment shine. It's so when you talk about beats in a fake relationship, there's the like, okay, for whatever reason, we're going to pull one over on all of our acquaintances, family. We're going to make everybody believe. Then you're going to go step by step through them pretending to be together, proving PDA, all this sort of stuff. And then the feelings growing and growing and growing. And then the big conflict of the story comes in, starts to push them apart. And then they have a, I need it to be real. I want it to be
Yeah.
real. And then you go into like the climax of the story. Um, is there anything that we have not talked about for a fake relationship that just has to be said?
I think we've covered all of everything I wanted to say.
I think the only thing that I didn't mention was or two things, I guess. You can have again where one of them has feelings when they start. They could even both have feelings when they start.
Mhm.
And that kinda adds a little bit of a twist, but also, the horrible misunderstanding thing can come in where, again, there's a misunderstanding about what the other person wants, and that comes from, like, the contract stage where they both say, "This is why it can't be real," or, "This is why don't ever believe that I'll have feelings for you," kind of thing. Or they've heard from someone that they're fickle or that they're really in love with someone else and like what like that knowledge quote unquote is what keeps the other person from letting their guard down and letting their feelings come out. So sometimes we talk about misunderstandings in romance, and it being something that readers say, well, that could just be fixed with like one conversation, right?
Mhm.
And that is something that's common in fake relationships, I think. So be really careful with that. Um, but at the same time, if you just make it valid and you make it like something that's really awkward or personal to talk about, like there's a lot of really difficult reasons why you would talk about that with the other person. Yeah, so maybe a conversation would fix it, but you have to have a lot of strong motivations to go into that conversation.
Yeah.
It's hard to talk about some things, and so you avoid it, especially if you might get your heart broken talking.
Right.
And so just put up a whole lot of risks and a whole lot of obstacles of some kind for that conversation to happen, so that it doesn't happen easily, and so the reader understands why they're not talking about it.
Yes.
And then you can make the misunderstanding work that can really help you with your conflict in a fake relationship. So,
Oh,
it's
I thought
been
of one more thing.
oh,
It's really common in fake relationship to have all their affection at the beginning of the book be in public, but as the book progresses, some of that affection starts happening in private, and then wondering, "Why did he do that? We're not nobody's watching us," you know?
yes, and I call that service tropes, like
Mm,
acts of service.
yes.
All the little things that they do for each other away from the public eye that shows their growing emotional bond with each other and their caretaking sort of, um, attempts and signs of affection. Yeah, I love those.
Another microtrope is the, "Oh, somebody's watching, I must kiss you," when nobody's actually watching.
Yeah. Or, oh, this is one of my favorite parts, is when they are kissing and then the person then they after the kiss ends, then they see somebody and they're like, "Oh, that's I thought they were kissing me for real, but it was just
Yes,
for the show." But
that's
that
why.
person but the person didn't actually know they were there and it was real, but there's like this
Yes.
whole like confusion about it.
Yes.
There's so many fun tangles you can tie
I love it.
in your emotions. So yeah, it's a great trope. What are we talking about next time?
Secret baby.
Mm, we will talk about it for those of you who love it.
Yes, we will. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next week.